Warning, this podcast contains forgotten memories. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTVpodcast for iZombie, Season 3, Episode 6, Some Like It Hot Mess. Does not sound grammatically correct. I'm your host, Dom, and with me is Not Nikki.
I was like, wait a minute.
Hi, Not Nikki. How are you?
Hi. I just noticed that.
So,
this is what happens when you don't show me the screen, bro.
Yeah, there you go. And it's Kim. Hello, Kim. How are you today?
Hi. Good.
Good. That's good.
You're too busy messing with me to know what you're doing.
Oh, I know everything that I'm doing. I'm messing with you.
Oh, okay.
So, we were right about Blaine. Or maybe. I don't know.
Sad.
We were wishy-washy on that.
I'm sad. That made me sad. The whole scene just made me sad.
Why?
Because I liked Blaine. I liked this whole new Blaine and Peyton, and he was being all super sweet and cute, and it just... What?
Are you moving your microphone?
Oh.
Whatever you were doing was picking up louder than your voice.
What the fuck happened?
Okay.
I'm done.
So,
I'm just done.
So Blaine.
Yes. I'm upset because he's being super cute, and I like the new Blaine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still the same Blaine. Everything that he's been doing this whole time is still him.
Yeah, but
He
now he's gonna go back
preferenced
to being his jerk face Blaine.
No, he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to go back to being jerk face. He's been pulling the wool over our eyes for months now. Well, for us, it's been like, what, 6 weeks?
Yeah.
But for them, it's been like a couple months.
But, I mean, he's going to... We saw what he started, what he was doing at the end of the episode. He's going back to being at least partly old Blaine.
We don't know exactly what he's doing with that. All right, so we had the whole thing with Major, right? We had Major, and we were like, oh, is Major gonna take the cure or not? And we left with him maybe getting injected, him maybe not getting injected. Don't know. This episode, he starts orgasming over ice cream, the taste of ice cream. Because he can actually taste food again. Hooray! It's not hot peppers. It's human food, flavor. And then we see him doing flashcards with Ravi, and, everything with his memory seems to be intact. And then some time starts passing, and he's forgetting their strategy in whatever game they were playing on the X PlayStation. I don't know. And
Something to do with zombies and Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably Call of Duty. I don't know. So, he started forgetting that, and then little by little, they mentioned he started forgetting little things like Minor, his dog, and which, by the way, he mentioned low blow, and the football coach. It's like things started slipping. So, Ravi wants the memory enhancement serum, wants to get that going. So he sent Liv an email to ingredients and stuff to pick up that he needed to make the formula. So she goes to see Major. She's spending time with Major, whatever, and Major's writing letters to everyone that's been important in his life, and you see Ravi's letters tear stained, and I was just like, really,
Bromance.
The bromance, yeah. The bromance, I can only imagine. That thing was thick. That was a thick envelope. It was at max capacity. I don't think you could have fit another piece of paper in that envelope. Liv's was very small, and he had mentioned it was just basically he loved her more than anyone could love someone. So, touching, but sweet, short and sweet and to the point. Yeah. But then, because Liv is on this crazy party girl brain that's very ditzy, and she doesn't remember half the things she's supposed to be doing, just the things she wants to be doing. She doesn't remember to stay with Major, and doesn't remember any of the things that she was supposed to bring to Ravi in the first place, and Major disappeared, right? He apparently packed a bag, took stuff with him, and then just vanished off the grid, couldn't find him, and he ended off, the police picked him up at the train station and dropped him off at his mother's house. Luckily, one of the police officers seemed to have recognized him. So, that's when we find out that through Peyton tells Blaine that Major took the cure. And that's when you see Blaine get upset. Like, something's up. You know, like, knew it right then and there. I was like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, he's been lying this whole time, this fuck. Like, I stuck up for him. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, he didn't even blink with his father. Do you remember that? I was like, his father's going to be the real test, and he didn't even blink. They fooled me. So he's like, Peyton was kind of like talking to him and was like, you know, even if this was true, because Ravi tried to explain this whole theory to him, because, what was it, Donnie from the Scratching Post? Some guy offered him $1 million for a zombie cure. And then Donnie went to go see Ravi, and he goes and tells him, oh yeah, some rich guy wants to give him $100K, I'll split it 50-50. So basically, he's offering Ravi $50K, and
like it's 1/4 of the whole.
Not even. That's like 1/100th.
It's a 10%.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's like 100th of a million. Something ridiculous. And that's when he tells Ravi that Blaine's been faking it this whole time. He knew some guy named John. And Ravi's just like, do you know how many Johns are out there in the world? Like, I know at least 3 of them, like, off the top of my head. And so Ravi kind of tells Peyton this theory, and she gets all upset or whatever. She mentions it to Blaine. And she's just like, even if that was the case, you're obviously changed now. I wouldn't be upset, you know, like, this is us. And so that's when Blaine comes clean. And he's like, look, Major's going to get his memory back. It fades for a few days, and then it comes back full force. Blaine's like, look, it actually happened. This is where I got the idea for it. And I figured this would be an opportunity to change my life. Peyton gets mad. Not at him for lying, necessarily. I mean, and not at him. Like, she's mad at the fact that her friends could have taken the cure a long time ago. Not that, you know, he was lying about himself, so to speak. I mean, indirectly, yes, that's what she's mad about, but...
No, she's more concerned that Liv could have been human by now, and, I mean, just all of them could have... That's the point, is that all of them could have been human by now, and all because of his lie, they've been piddling around.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. She's not mad that he wanted the fresh start. She's mad that he lied and they could have been human. That's what she's mad about. So then the lab gets broken into, right? And the cure goes missing. Now, we could assume that this is Donnie, right? I'm
pretty sure it was Donnie.
It's safe to say it's Donnie, not Blaine, but Donnie. And then they're like, well, Major has a dose of the cure still that he didn't take. I gave him just in case. And they're all waiting for Major to get back from his mother's and, you know, all this stuff so Liv could take the cure. And then we find out that Major gave it to someone. Now, we're assuming this is his buddy at Fillmore Graves, you know, the one that they were playing Dance Dance Revolution with a few episodes back. Or last week, or 2 episodes. I don't remember now. But it's safe to assume that that's who he gave the cure to.
No, he gave it to... what's her name? The zombie tripper.
Yeah. His buddy at the academy.
What?
No?
No. The chick, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now.
Oh, Natalie?
Yeah, he gave it to Natalie, don't you remember?
No.
Yeah, he handed it to Natalie when he was in that room before the Jerkface's goon showed up.
This was what, last episode or the episode before?
Episode before.
Okay.
He handed her the cure and then took off. So remember, he went off to do that big army raid or whatever without it because he gave it to her.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking he gave it to his buddy. So now, if he didn't give it to his buddy, the one that he was playing the Zumba or whatever, the Dance Dance Revolution, DDR, whatever. Is that what it was? They were playing DDR.
So here's my other theory.
So then I'm thinking it's him now, not Donnie that broke in and stole everything.
Not him, but I think he may have told
Fillmore Graves?
Fillmore Graves, and they may have gone after the cure.
It's possible.
But at the same time, it was a mess. It seemed like it wasn't very professionally done at all, so it seemed very Donnie.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm thinking they want us to think it's Donnie. So now I'm thinking, because I was thinking this whole time Major gave the cure to his buddy, because his buddy like inquired about it. Remember when he said something about take me to the morgue? This was last episode now.
Right, yeah, that was last episode.
He said take me to the morgue, and then he's sitting there listening, and they're talking about taking the cure and everything, and he just kind of looked like, what do you mean not human? Like, like, this is possible? Like, that was really suspicious to me then. That's why I assumed that guy wanted to be human again. So I was thinking this whole time Major, this episode now, I was thinking Major he gave him the cure. That's what he was talking about. So if that's not the case, if Major gave it to Natalie, then yeah, I don't think Donnie came in and stole it. I think it's his buddy from Fillmore Graves.
It's totally plausible. But I'm still leaning towards Donnie, but it does make sense that they make it look like it's Donnie, even though it's not.
Yeah. Yep. But then we see at the end of the episode, like you mentioned, Blaine has Liv's email for the memory enhancer. Right? So, that's what we see Blaine making when he's in the lab and he's making that memory enhancer. And I don't know for what purpose, unless he's trying to do something with brains itself, where he's trying to give like people more extreme brains, because that's basically what's been happening to Liv.
That's what I was thinking.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's possible, but that doesn't mean that Blaine like went evil again.
I'm not saying that he went completely evil, but I definitely think he might be using that to continue. I think he's going to use it to perfect the brains. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Blaine's still running the brain business, even with his memories, He's been doing that this whole time. But, I don't know. He's probably looking for an edge, something to get over on the Scratching Post now, because the Scratching Post has plenty of clients. They don't need Blaine anymore. And we know that the Scratching Post is looking for ways to take over, Blaine. Like, they basically want to run him out of business. So now Blaine has, super brains, that's something over the Scratching Post, something, he can get his clients back with. So, seems like a good idea. I don't necessarily think that's being evil about it, but I mean, he did steal it, but at the same time, it's not like he could have asked them for it. I don't know if it's called
stealing. It was kind of accidentally left at him.
Yeah. It's not like he could have asked for it either, It's not like, hey, trying to get my business back, guys. Do you mind? Like, can you throw me a bone here? They're going to be like, no, you lied to us, So, yeah. Brian in chat saying, I'm wondering if next season might end up being the last, since Liv is going to want to take the cure when they find out now. if they know it works. Because you saw Liv wanted to take the cure, and she even said to Babineau, like, this is our last case, and I'm going to be human again when Major gets back, and, all this stuff. And, like, it's kind of a touching moment, but it's definitely not the last. And you saw Babineau be like, can't you just, like, stop being selfish and hold out, until I get, my promotion? I'm like, yeah, okay.
There's totally possible reasons that the cure, something happens, so that the cure doesn't take effect, or they lose it, or something happens. I mean, because right now that was all the dosage they have of the cure, and extremely hard for him to get the ingredients to make it anyway.
Right.
So if they don't get that back, they can prolong anything, and they have been officially renewed for a 4th season.
Yep. They have.
Yep. So, I mean, there are ways to prolong, if they can, and the show's doing really well. So
it is. But the kind of like the side plot episode that we had this episode was with Yvonne Fallon, girl. We see her late for work at the start of the episode. Some lady comes in, slaps her right across the face while she's in line at the grocery store. Later on, we find out she was murdered. Her landlord, I guess, Barb, called in, and apparently she was using a hairdryer in the tub. And
I was thrown at her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what they discover. Because it was chipped, and all this stuff. And I'm sitting here going, that's a pretty far stretch. Because if I'm using, not that I would, but if I was using a hairdryer that was plugged in while in the tub, and I got shocked, I'm gonna drop it. It's gonna hit something, and it's gonna chip. So I was like,
well, there's a big difference between dropping of a hairdryer is not going to chip a tile wall. Tossing it at the said wall would.
Well, you get electrocuted. You don't know what you're gonna do with that thing. If you're gonna drop it, throw it, hold on to it, you're being electrocuted. You don't exactly have control.
You don't have the control to throw something. You're not gonna have the force. You're being electrocuted. It's gonna be a drop.
I guess
it's not gonna be a.
I don't know. Your arms might flail all over the place, and you might smash it into, while still smash it into the wall.
Well, you wouldn't be in your hand anymore if it's in the water electrocuting you.
I guess. I don't know. I've never been electrocuted. I don't know how it works. The closest I've been to electrocuted was I may have been wet from a hose during the summer and accidentally hit my arm into one of the electric fences that keep the horses, from getting close to the thing. That's as close as I've been to electrocuted, where it's just jolted me, and I was like, oh, that didn't feel good, So.
Those little shock toys. They have that you're getting electrocuted at a little bit, but it's not.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the same as the fence. That's basically the same thing as the fence.
I was electrocuted by a VCR.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Did you while you were electrocuted, did you eject the tape, put it back in its case, and then drop it, or did you throw it?
No, I pulled my hand away very quickly. Well, not even I can't say very quickly because it's at first it's like a shock, not like
like you're
your
stunned.
Thought process.
You're stunned. Exactly. You're just like, I don't know what's going on.
So my fingers started to burn, but you leave them there it's weird.
You're and then frozen. You really are.
And then you're like, oh, I should move my hand.
You see in all the cartoons and the video games and stuff where they stop and they're just like, Home Alone, when he's grabbed onto the sink handles and he's not letting go, and your instinct would be, why aren't you just letting go? Well, yeah, when you get shocked like that, you don't have the, cognitive thought process to actually just let go.
Your brain,
it does not happen.
Stops working for, a second.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But, so they're like, yeah, somebody murdered her, whatever. They're doing their investigation. So Liv gets on the girl's brain. We find out she's a club girl. She's a DJ at a local bar, the Ice Ship.
A bad DJ, apparently.
Yeah, very, very bad DJ. And then we find out the girl that slapped her, Trish, is the bar owner's wife. Right? So instantly we're like, okay, there's trouble. We find out on top of it that Trish's husband slept with Yvonne. Or maybe not slept with. Maybe just had
Sounds like foreplay.
Yeah.
I'll call it that.
Some oral foreplay. So Trish, is clearly upset. But we find out Trish is sleeping around too, so it's like they have like this weird relationship where they both sleep around. And they both get mad at each other for sleeping around, but in the end they stay together and don't really care. What? I don't know. Like, this is the weirdest relationship ever. Like, is that...
It's an open relationship where they get mad at each other for being open.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian also mentions that the actor who played the store manager is Sneezy from Once Upon a Time, and I did recognize that. So that was very interesting. And then Liv gets a vision of this guy, Joe, who's the clerk at the beginning of the episode that's helping Yvonne cover up for being late. And she's upset with him. You see in the vision that she's upset because she slept with a guy named Sage. So we're assuming Sage, I think, is the bar owner, right? Did they confirm that was his name? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then while they were doing the investigation, they had discovered there was a baseball in the trash. It was a signed baseball by Thurman Munson. And it was supposed to be worth 10 grand. We find out that it's Barb's baseball. And it may have got pawned at the pawn shop for, I think it was $1,000. Right? Something worth $10,000 gets brought to the pawn shop for $1,000. Seems legit.
Pawn shop's gonna try to take you.
Well, yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. But I think Yvonne could have got more money for it. She could have probably got at least $5,000. If it's worth 10, you could get 5 at a pawn shop.
Well, she didn't know what it was. She was just pawning.
Yep. She pawned it so she could give Barb rent, and then she replaced the baseball with a really badly forged fake. And apparently this is the reason why Barb murdered her. So, was it worth it?
No.
No.
But they make a good point. Could it possibly be that she didn't intend to do what she did and she was just mad and out of anger tossed the hairdryer at her without thinking?
Yeah, because she said, what's the difference if it was plugged in already or if I plugged it in and then did it? And they said it's murder versus manslaughter. Because
it's an accident first, premeditated.
Yep. Yeah. If she gets off on manslaughter, that's an accident, and she doesn't get nearly as bad.
She'll still get prison time, but it won't be like life. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. This was a pretty straightforward episode. We got another part of Liv seeing the visions again. Like, we get to see her end of it because it was still the visions from last week that she was on.
That was a funny scene because Peyton was like, "Oh, she's in the. Why is she still in it?"
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you get that glimpse of Liv's kind of tired of it. She's tired of living someone else's life.
Yep. It
interrupting and messing. She pretty much now comes to terms kind of messing with her own life.
Yeah.
But that she's different people every day, and it's not fun for her anymore.
I think it would be fun if I had the choice to be a different person constantly. I would.
I definitely feel I don't know. I don't know if I think it might drain on you eventually. But
maybe, but at that point, then I can just eat brain tubes and be okay. Like, if Liv honestly wants this to stop, she can eat the brain tubes. She doesn't need to be human to do that. To get the visions to stop. She doesn't need to. If that's really her only concern. Obviously, I know she wants to eat food again. I know she wants to be human. I know she wants to be able to interact and touch and do whatever to Major again. You know, like that.
Oh, yeah,
you know.
I think that's another big push right now because Major and Liv are starting to get close again, and they want to. Like you saw Major. Major really, really still wants to be with her, and it's complicated because she's still a zombie. And have we? I don't think we've come across. Does once you've taken the cure, can you not become a zombie again?
I don't know. I think if anything, Blaine is going to be the first one to find out.
I think so too.
So I'm excited for the potential of that. Next week, the episode is called Dirt Nap Time. Shanae Grimes from 90210 guest stars. When Liv and Clive work together to solve a murder of a very charming but womanizing preschool teacher, things get interesting when they bring his jealous girlfriend Piper in for questioning. Meanwhile, Peyton is assigned a very interesting case. And finally, Blaine finds himself in a bad situation.
Dun, dun, dun. I watched the preview, and it is the first time in a long time that we got to see Liv zombie out.
Can't wait. Can't wait. It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah, it has been. I can't remember the last time we've seen her like fully. Wasn't it the
beginning
the one
of last season?
Wasn't it the karate? I remember the karate episode where she like freaking like drop kicked that dude.
Yeah,
but
I think that was the beginning of last season, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Season 2 is based off the titles. This is season 3. Season 2. No, maybe not. I don't know where the karate episode was. I don't remember.
I do think that was the last episode that we saw her zombie out. I mean, it's been quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't recognize it by just the title for any of the seasons.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know we saw the first season. We saw her do it a few times.
Yeah.
And then
it's definitely last season.
I only remember seeing it at least only like once or maybe twice last season. We haven't seen her all this season do it at all.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah.
We got to see Major do it once.
Mm-hmm.
Other than his parkour episode last episode.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even zombieing out, but
no, that was just using zombie reflexes to be crazy.
Yep. All right, so I think that about does it. Kim, where can the people find you?
On the Twitters at HUFFITY,
Awesome. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Dun, 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 dun.
And you can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTVpodcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next time. See you guys later.
Bye-bye. Kept thinking I was going to sneeze the whole episode.
Is that because Sneezy from Once Upon a Time was the store clerk?
No, I don't know. Just all of a sudden my nose was like, nee.
Okay, well, bless you.
Thank you.